Good morning everyone. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. It's been a long time since I've sat down to record anything. I'm kind of stalled in the middle of a couple of potential videos at the moment, so I thought what I'd do is I'd grab one of the kits from my pile of various kits that I haven't built yet. I thought I'll grab something and do a video on it just to, you know, shake off the cobwebs, refresh myself. And there's a couple more kits in this series coming out soon, so I thought I'll get one of the ones that I've already got out of the way. So these are the End of Heroes line from Japanese company Kotobukiya. They're zombies, as you can see. Got the Zombinoid Agony and the Zombinoid Biter. So I'm going to crack one of these open, we're going to see what the parts are like, and then we're going to start painting. So we've got the biters parts here. There's a manual which comes partly in colour. There's a suggested paint guide. There's a guide to like easy painting. So I think this is just like applying a wash with a paint marker or something and then rubbing off the excess with a cotton bud, which is a decent idea. And there's a painted example here. And the rest of the manual's in black and white, just showing how it goes together. It can fit a stand, but that comes separately. But as you can see, we are moulded in colour. I've had a look at the Zombinoid Agony. Half of the parts, particularly the bigger frames, are the same between the two, just moulded in different colours. They both have this sort of blood splatter effect for a figure stand, which is nice. A couple of unique bits. There's some zombie viscera. There's his head there. That'll sort of give an idea of roughly how big he's going to be when he's done. Got some pristine white sneakers, which are not going to be pristine and white when we're done with them. I'm going to go ahead and start taking the parts off the frame and cleaning them up, ready to be painted. Got to mention there's different plastic types as well, so these tan coloured parts that you see for the flesh are slightly rubberised compared to the hard plastic for the other bits. Right, now that the parts are all removed from the frame and cleaned up, we're going to start preparing them for painting. So we need to prime them first, and the way I like to do that is use wood and bamboo skewers and one of these, that's way too close, you know, these dry foam blocks that florists have for, I don't know, for artificial flowers and stuff like that. So basically what you're doing, you want to just blue tack your bits to the top of the sticks and then shove the pointy end of the stick in the block. Basically you're wanting to put the blue tack over parts that are joints as well. So you mostly cover the ball socket here and any sort of like little pegs or peg holes. You want to try and get blue tack in those to stop the paint getting in there, so otherwise that will gum them up, make the joints stiff, make it hard to move the figure once it's painted. Also there will be a few little parts like this one that are purely just internal joint parts, so we're not going to bother priming or painting those. There you go, there's your block. Should be looking something like that. Now we've started priming the parts, I'm just going to start painting the skin. First off I'm going to give it a base coat of slightly thinned Gorthor Brown. I'm keeping all the parts for the different colours in little separate piles to make it easier to keep them all organised. Does not make it easier to keep this tiny little head in focus, but I'm going to try my best. Starting with a base coat of Khorne Red on the viscera, nice pinkish red, so we can start making it look nasty and gory. Looks like meat. So for his shirt I'm going to start with a base coat of Alaitoc Blue. I'm not matching the colours of the plastic exactly, but I'm going for generally the sort of same colours, so a blue shirt, sort of tan khaki pants, so that if there are any little bits of plastic showing through in the joints for instance, it won't stand out so much as if I gave him a red shirt and there was a little bit of this blue-grey plastic showing through that would stand out like a sore thumb. Whereas this way, if I mess up on that a little bit, it won't be too bad. Carrying on with the skin, we're going to give it a dry brush of Karak Stone. Go fairly heavy. Focus. There we go. So for the skin highlights, we're going to take it up to Ionrach Skin. Just do some light dry brushing around the raised edges. Get some around the edge of this injury on his head here. Just a little unusual places like cheekbones, bridge of the nose. We're going to dab a little bit of Snakebite leather contrast now, just inside his mouth and in his eye sockets. Just going to pray that the camera stays focused. while I do that. So we're applying some Khorne Red to the inside of this torso piece, as well as the gross viscera guts, and also a little bit into his head injury when it focuses. Next we're going to bring the shirt up to Calgar Blue. Just going to give that all over heavy dry brush. Probably going to get most of this on my fingers while I'm doing it. Let's be honest with ourselves. A little bit of white scar, we're just going to count his teeth here. He's got one eye open, so we're going to carefully dot a bit of white scar in there. There we go. You can see the eye and the teeth. Nicely picked out there. Next up we're going to work on making some of the gross parts even grosser. Going to highlight some of the guts with Yriel Yellow. This may look a little bit much at first, but we're going to knock it back with some washes, and hopefully that'll make come out looking nice and disgusting. Done guts like this on smaller plague bearers, smaller zombies, things like that, so hopefully should come out alright on this bigger guy as well. Just going to put a little bit just in his head injury as well. Nice. And for the final highlight on his shirt, I'm going to go up to a light dry brush of Blue Horror. Some Carroburg Crimson on the injuries and nasty bits, just to start dulling down that yellow a little, making it look all septic. Just picked out the tongue with Khorne Red and putting Carroburg Crimson wash on that as well, but I didn't put any yellow. And just the same thing on the guts, nice and generous with the red wash. Just inside of this optional rib part as well to mention. The Khorne Red and then the Carroburg Crimson. Next up we're going to use Contrast Basilicanum Grey. Just go right over grey seer base coat on the shoes. Pooling a little bit more than I'd like, so I'm just going to soak up some of the excess and use it for the other shoe. While we've got the Basilicanum Grey open, just going to apply some over the blue shirt areas as well. Not too heavy with this, maybe thin it down a little. Maybe hold the bits with crocodile clips attached to sticks rather than your bare fingers like I'm doing. I know some experienced model makers do that, but I'm lazy. The front shirt, he's got a little bit of an undershirt poking through here, so I'm just going to hit that with a bit of black Templar just to make it look like he's got a black vest or something on underneath. I've realised now that I've finished the shirt, I've hit on a pretty decent, this looks like denim jeans, so I kind of regret not just trying to do his trousers like this, and now this guy is cursed to forever wander the earth wearing a denim shirt. Poor unfortunate soul. Last big job is the green for his trousers. So I'm going to start that with a base coat of Loren Forest. Just get that over his zombie butt here. Again, we're going vaguely for the plastic colour, but looking at the detail, do kind of regret not going for the jeans colour that we got earlier. Oh well, possibly should have been doing this from the start. I'm using tweezers to hold some of the little fiddlier bits. Next we're going to dry brush Krieg Khaki over the trousers, just to highlight those off. I'm going to go a little bit rough. Need a little more paint off, I think. There we go, that's better. This looks much better in my hand than it does on the camera. I wonder why. Our zombie fella is wearing a belt to keep his trousers up, so we're just going to use Mournfang Brown to pick that out. I'll get the buckle afterwards. Any little silver colour you like for his belt buckle. I'm using Iron Hand Steel. Just go around that. There we go, that'll do. Then I'm going to give the trouser parts a coat of Agrax Earthshade. Now this is original formula Agrax, but if you're using new formula, it should be mostly similar, except it will be a bit more in the recesses and a bit less on the flats and the high areas. I don't know if anybody is ever going to, if anybody happens to, be using this video to exactly copy the way I painted a random one-off Japanese zombie kit, but here we are. Now I've found the bits that are the bottom cuffs of the trousers. I've partly assembled them, so that's together. And now I'm going to sponge on a little bit of Stirland Mud. Then I'm going to do the same thing with his formerly pristine white trainers. Go heavy on the bottom, there we go. Get them nice and scuffed and dirty. Now that the painting is mostly done, we are blue tacking the bits back on the sticks. We're going to hit them with a spray of Munitorum Varnish, and then we're going to pop them back together for the final touches. And there we go, now that we've put him together, he's bigger than your usual Warhammer zombie, but he is surprisingly tiny. Look at him, he's adorable. He is all matte varnished up, Munitorum Varnish, but there's one little detail we're going to do, and that's applying blood for the blood god to any of these little injury bits, or bits that we want to be glossy. That. I sponged a little bit of Stirland Mud on the front of his shirt as well, just for a little bit of dirt. See, he's got dirt around his feet. Smear a little bit of blood for the blood god on his hands. Maybe he's been out biting at people like a naughty boy. A little bit of blood in his mouth, maybe. Like they always say with, you know, dirt and weathering, less is more. Apply it a little bit at a time, dab it on. I'm going to, of course, put some on the inside of this optional torso bit. And we're just going to use it to glaze this nasty, fresh pile of meat that is his spilled guts from when we've got him split in half. Yeah, raw meat, lovely. And there we go. That is the Kotobukiya End of Heroes Zombinoid Biter complete. I've just chopped him in half here. He's trying to crawl away and nibble on some more people's ankles, even though he's got stuff hanging out of himself. Oh, it's very gruesome. It's gruesome. I like it. Yeah, so this will be my first video for a while. Done something slightly different. It's not wargaming miniature, but I do like doing kits like these. I like doing the Gundam Gunpla kits, so I might do one of those for the channel a bit later. If you guys like this, I've got his friend, the Zombinoid Agony, to build and paint as well, so he might also get a little video. I've got 2 more of these kits coming as well, because they made 2 more, so now I'm invested in collecting little zombies. But yes, I will have some more normal wargaming miniature content coming as well. I'm planning on doing videos for how I paint Nurgle stuff and orcs. On the historical side of things, I do still want to do a video on painting Afghan warriors to go with the first video I put up with the British infantry from the same time period. Their clothing is going to be a little bit more varied, so I've got to think about a nice balance between something that you can do a lot of in a short period of time and also getting a little bit of variety in there. So I'm working on it. I'm fiddling around with stuff. But yeah, that will be coming. So if you liked this, let me know. Leave a comment. If there's anything else you'd like to see me do, then ask and I'll see what I can do about that. But in the meantime, I will catch you in the next video. See you later.